hope that you're really excited about it. I have been chatting with my spirit guides, and so I know some of the energies that's going to be coming up for everybody this year, and I'll share them in a minute. But if you're here, let me know and comment. Just say, hey. Also, if you like something I say, press the like button. If you love something I say, press the love button. And if you're watching the replay, comment underneath #replay. But I hope you're having an amazing time wherever you are and enjoying the awesomeness of this day. There's really a different energy to it. I was actually having this discussion last night with my husband. He's like, what is the difference of, if we just stay up till midnight or not on our time zone, because we'd watch the Eastern time ball drop. And I said, it's a difference. There's an energy shift that definitely happens when we shift into the next year, and we're shifting into the next decade. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite things that I like to do, and we're going to do this together here in a minute, I like to take a moment, and I usually do this before the ball drops. I'll just kind of reflect on the highlights of 2019. And so I was doing that last night, and I said, gosh, this last decade, I actually started my business in 2010. And what's interesting is in 2020, I still have my business, but I'm changing into more of the teaching direction. So it's just really interesting. And that's always what I've loved. I also said, gosh, I moved across the country to Sedona, Arizona from the East Coast. I adopted my daughter. I found my twin flame, my spiritual partner, got married. And we've had a lot of awesome highlights that's happened in this past decade. When you look at the past 10 years, you can really see how much you've grown as a person and spiritually. And sometimes we forget to actually look at our growth, and we're just stuck in the day-to-day stuff. And we need to actually look back and say, ooh. But the important thing that I want to talk about here is we only want to take the highlights into the year. We can get stuck in our mind about, oh, this happened. Oh, I'm so glad that that's not going to come into 2020. We don't want to get stuck in those negative vibes and then like drag them with us into the next year. So that means we don't want to think about them so much either, but we're going to release them today. So we're going to talk about that too. And we want to step in with a brand new, vibrant energy. So as a heads up, I put a link here in our live. I like to do this every year in the January time. The theme always changes, but next week I'm going to do a high vibe challenge to challenge you to stay high vibe in the first full week of January. So I'd love for you to join me. There's a link here under our video, or you can go to messengerspirit.com/high vibe and join the challenge. It's free. It's going to be 3 days. If you can show up live, yes, please do. I really encourage you to do that so you can go through the exercises with us together. And when we're together with a group, ooh, it's really powerful. But if you can't show up live, sign up anyway, and then watch the videos as soon as you can. So just a couple things I wanted to say before I forgot. Okay, let's see who's here. Hey, Donna, good to see you, and Margot, and Sarah, and Mimi, and Luli, and my husband's on here. Hey, Lou, and Michelle, and Happy New Year to everybody as well. And hey, Jamie, and hey, yeah, so Jamie says, for sure, different energy buzzed since midnight, not tired and cannot sleep. I have actually been feeling the same way as far as the last few days. I will stay up to like 2 a.m., which is not really something I like to do. I just can't go to sleep. So it's quite interesting. I'm full of excitement. Hey, Carrie and Susie and Leslie and Lynn and Kim and everyone else is just joining us, and Mickey and Lori and Stacy. So good to see you here. I'm glad that you are celebrating the new year with me. We can get stuck in these different traditions, right? And so I always like to say, on the first year, I really want to claim whatever it is that I'm bringing in. And so I want to do it together with you. I do this on my own, so I thought, well, why not invite everybody and let's do it together. So first things first, let's just take a few moments. I'm going to pull a couple cards. If you're one of my students in my Align program or Intuition Abundance Academy, you know that I like to pull some cards. But I just want to do this for everyone right now as far as 2020. Like, what is our theme here? What's the message that you need to share with everybody watching right now? Okay. So I'm going to do this in a couple different ways. The first part I have here is so much more awaits you. There come a day when you look back at where you've been and where you are now and call these your warm-up years. This is just what we were talking about, right? The past 10 years are like the warm-up years. You're moving into a new decade. More love, more fun, more friends, more laughter, more thoughts, more things, more, lots more. I love that so much. So this is a great validation of what my guides were already sharing through me to you, but we did that in a tangible way. Let's see what else they want to share here today with our year. And then I'll share with you some of the things that I've been chatting with them about too, as far as 2020 goes. So let's see what else they want to kind of share tangibly in one of our cards. One's popping out. Stay focused and hold the course. So this is going to be really important as we move into this new decade where we're staying focused with the intentions that we're setting today. Now, when we set our intentions today, I don't want you to get so stuck on the exact details. We'll get into that a little bit more in a minute, but it's basically we got to keep our vibe high. We have to stay aligned in order to manifest whatever's coming up or our intentions. And so this is staying focused, is keeping our vibe high. Again, I'd love for you to join us next week. I'm going to challenge you to keep your vibe high. I think that's really important, and Spirit apparently is challenging you too. And then let's just pull one last message here, and then I'll share the messages that I've chatted with them about myself. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, I feel like this one's popping out. No surprise here. The card is truth. This is authenticity. So this is the year where you're really living authentically. I'm seeing this on a conscious and global scale, and you can see that with people's opinions about what's going on in the world and things like that. Now, we can think that way, and that's completely fine. But when I'm talking about truth and authenticity, you don't have to lash out at people. It's more of, this is who I am and I'm claiming it. I'm not going to participate in old cycles and old jobs or old relationships that no longer support me. I'm claiming my truth, and I'm no longer participating in the old ways that are not my vibe. So I'm excited for that. Now, one of the things that I wanted to share with you is in 2020, what I've talked about with my spirit helpers is that there's going to be a lot of uprising, like more so with people's energy, because that truth, that authentic self is going to kind of bust out of the shell. Is basically representative of the old cycles that we've had, the old thought patterns, the old ways of being, and sometimes tradition kind of gets shaken up a little bit. I know what was really interesting is this Christmas, I could already feel the energy. We shifted our tradition. And so just you're not kind of doing things out of the robotic moments and movements. It's more of I'm being present, I'm being focused, and I'm being really real. And so that's really important as we are really real with ourselves, and we stop worrying about judgment of others, and we're just walking our path, whatever it is. I get really excited when I see people on TV talk about a little bit more woo-woo stuff. I was watching a New Year's Eve presentation last night, and the two anchors on there, one person was asking, well, when you're on stage, do you feel, and they were talking about a person that has passed into spirit, do you feel their presence? And I was like, wow, that's so awesome that this is on a wonderful, broadcasted New Year's Eve kind of thing, and they were talking about that. So I love that, and you know, the person didn't really care what anybody thinks about them. Now, when I say don't care, we always want to be kind. We always want to be gentle. We always want to be supportive of other people. So we're not going to say things that are purposely going to offend people. We're only being authentic and true to ourselves. So I'm excited for what this year has to bring. I know that it might be tough for some people who haven't done the work. So it really is important to do the work. When we're moving into this year, it's a decade shift. So it's like, I mean, it kind of is like you're moving into a new year times 10. So it's more of an umph kind of year. And I can tell that it's going to be challenging for some people to break through to the next version of themselves. But if you're already working on yourself and you're already aligning to where you know you're going and where your highest vibrating self really is and lives, you're good. So I'm so excited to see you here. That means you're good. Let's see, I've got Missy here, and Mimi says she's not concerning herself with judgers. I'm so happy for that. That's awesome. All right, so we share some spirit messages for 2020 that's coming in. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about as we get ready to set our intentions, let's talk about expectations versus intentions. Expectations, I do not like. I don't want that, because we can set our expectations really high, and then what happens? If we don't go into fulfilling the expectation, or it doesn't work out exactly how we wanted to, we go down, and then our vibe goes down, and we get depressed and we get sad. We are not going to worry about expectations. This is intention setting. So intentions are, I'm intending for this, and we are going to talk about not working on relating to all the details. I'm working on this, but I'm going to attach to the energy, like the emotions that I feel. And then we also want to understand that we're giving ourselves room for spirit and our higher self to work out the details. So we're not going to be setting these expectations of, on Monday I'm going to do this, and on Tuesday I'm going to do this, and like have a plan. We're setting our intentions to raise our vibration, whatever it is that we really want to achieve, as far as freedom or joy or feeling lighter or whatever it is. Or it could be, you know, I really feel like a move is coming up for me this year, and I'd like to set my intentions to move, but I'm going to let spirit work out the details on it. And so intentions are important. Another reason that we really want to set intentions is simply because our spirit guides need to know what page we're on. One of the biggest things that we do, and if you're my student, you already know this, one of the biggest things that we do is we end up expecting our spirit guides to just know things, and we end up thinking that they are driving the car and we're in the passenger seat and we have no say in it, or we feel like they'll take care of it. That's taking them for granted, and we're not communicating. So we have to make sure that we're communicating with our spirit helpers, our spirit guides, and we also have to make sure that we're receiving their insight, right? That's something we're not going to cover so much in this training, but it's a two-way street. So right now we're going to work on our intentions of our spirit guides and where we want to go, to let them know, so they can say, oh, Whitney wants to do this. Okay, we're going to give her some opportunities to do that. So, okay, this is what we need to do. Also, I'm going to give you a personal example. I was saying, you know, I'm shifting my business more into teaching. I just love it. It's fun, and I'm fulfilled with it. And I really feel guided to do it in this way. And so for 6 months, I kept receiving messages from my spirit guides like, your office in Sedona is going away. And I was like, no, it's not. I like it here. And they're like, no, you need to release it. It's okay. So what's interesting is I received the message. I had set my intentions, and they show me the answers of what I need to do to shift. Now, it's also a two-way street. So today, we got a message that we're officially releasing the office space on February 1st. So this is an example of how I set my intentions for where I want to go, and spirit is supporting me. Now, if my intentions were such a bad idea that it wasn't part of my path, my guides wouldn't help me. They wouldn't give me messages about it. They would help me get onto another path. So just kind of a heads up there. Also, what I wanted to say was, you want to make sure that they know what to help you with. So sometimes you can be just, when you're really embodying your intention, I want you to feel the emotion of it. And you can also be specific with your spirit guides, but you're not attaching like it's your plan that you're going to fulfill necessarily all by yourself. Sound good? Okay, let's talk about releasing. I'm going to say something that might sound a little bit morbid. It's not. I'm a medium, so I got to tell you how things work, and it also works on the earth plane. When we die, when we transition into spirit, we drop our body, right? We don't need it anymore. But we take our mind and our emotions, and so our vibration is actually made up of our thoughts and our emotions and our spiritual body. And so when we cross into spirit, if we are holding on to things that are negative or lower or heavier, what is that going to do to our average vibration rate? It's going to go down, right? Same here. As we move into the next year or the next cycle, because everything that we do, career, job, relationship, or in life is a cycle. And so if we are holding on to things and we're not releasing things, and we are grumpy or mean, or we're empathic and we are still holding on to other people's stuff that we don't even know about, our vibration goes down. So it's really important that we make a conscious effort while we're alive and we're living to only take the highlights moving forward. Now, I used to be somebody that remembered everything. I remembered all the details of all the things, but all I was doing was basically stuffing more baggage or more items, let's say, into my baggage. And so it was just holding me down. I needed to make sure that I was shifting my vibe so that I was moving into a lighter vibration. And sometimes that means I'm going to let go of all these things. And maybe you don't remember every single detail, but you're letting go of the hurt, you're letting go of the grief, you're letting go of any anger or anything else. So as we move into this year, what I'd love for you to do today is take a few moments. I'd like for you to close your eyes. You can just listen to me. Take a deep breath in. And let's just exhale. And when we exhale, I'd like for you to just feel and intend all those yucky things that were in 2019 are coming away from your body. And just allow yourself to kind of sink down. I'd also like for you to intend that all those things that are now out of your body and out of your energy be transformed into beautiful light. So I'd like for you to see, and you can take another deep breath if you like. Take a deep breath in. And this time when you exhale, see all those things turn into a white light. Feel all these things around you turn into a beautiful white light. Just feel, if you can't visualize, you can also intend or just know. Maybe you hear a vibrating sound, like a buzzing sound. And just feel yourself become lighter and more relaxed. And now I'd like for you to take a few moments and just, with your pen and paper that you brought with you, I'd like for you to take a few moments and kind of connect in with your body and your energy. And I'd like for you to just reflect on some of the highlights that were happening. So positive things. So what we're doing here, why we're doing it, is we're bringing gratitude to the past decade and 2019. And so we are not bringing heavy things in. We're bringing only gratitude. We don't want to release things with anger. We always want to do that with gratitude and love. So just write down those things that you're grateful for. What were you grateful for in 2019 in the past decade? So take a few moments to do that. I'm going to get a sip of tea. It's a little cold here in Sedona. And I'll give you just a few minutes to connect in. So Michelle was reflecting on her Sedona trip that she had this past year. I love it. And Pam, we're going to get more into intentions. I'll be guiding everybody with how to set our intentions in just a few moments. But right now we're just connecting with ourselves. So we're connecting with our energy, our higher self, our body, all of those things that are important. And we're just saying, I'm so grateful for learning this. I'm so grateful that this was here. I'm so grateful for this, this, and this. So the highlights. So again, if you just tuned in, my highlights were I got married to my twin flame, my soul connection. I moved to Sedona. I moved across the country. I had beautiful relationships with my little pet animals. Some of them have transitioned, but I had a great decade with them. And I adopted my daughter. I just really felt so grateful for all these different highlights that have happened. And when you do this, you see your growth, right? So tell me in the comments some of the things that you are grateful for. Just tell me some of the excited things that you are saying. I'm taking the highlights. I know that Michelle is excited for the Sedona trip. Jamie says she got certified in, I don't ever know if it's equine or equine, sorry about that, assisted psychotherapy. So grateful and excited. Jamie, that's awesome. That sounds really, really great. I think that is amazing. Yeah, so comment all the things that you're grateful for. Now, it doesn't have to be the list, but it's just nice to do this. And then what I'd love for you to do after you have felt that you've written all these things down and you have released that other energy, And by the way, as you're moving into 2020, and if you feel an old behavior pattern or thought or something pop up for you, I'd like for you to just take a few moments and breathe in that white light and breathe it out and see those things transform into a beautiful white light. Okay, let's see what else we have here. I'd love for you to set our intentions now. And what I'd like for you to do is take a few moments, and before we do that, we've got to call on our spirit guides. So I'd like for you, and you can do this every day, by the way, but I'd like for you to just simply intend either out loud or with your inner reading voice, with the intention that your spirit guides hear you. I'd like for you to welcome your spirit guides. So you take a few moments and you say, I would love to welcome my spirit guides. If you know them by name, you can say, I'd like to welcome Dr. Davis and Dr. Austin and all of your guides. This is an example of some of my guides. Or you can just say, I welcome my spirit guides and I'm so excited to communicate with you today. So right now, if you're one of my students, you know that there's different sets of guides. There's intuitive guides, there's mediumship guides, but who we're talking to is our personal guides. So we're calling on our personal guides. Now, our personal guides are most likely not our loved ones who have passed into spirit, meaning they're not family. Sometimes they are, but most of the time they aren't. And so we're just talking to our spirit helpers and guides. These are the peeps who are dedicated to you. They are the people that are with you day in and day out. But we have to make sure we communicate with them effectively. And it's really important to receive their messages, but for now we're just going to talk to them. What I'd love for you to do is take a few moments, and I'd like for you, now that they're around you, we're going to work on our energy. So now I want you to connect back into your body. I want you to connect in with your spirit. You can focus on the heart chakra if you'd like to do that. And I'd love for you to just say, and talk to your higher self, by the way, excuse me. What intentions are for my highest and best? And see what answers you get from yourself. What emotions will I feel when I achieve this goal? So let's say that your intention is to move. Or let's just say your intention is very vague as far as, I don't know, but I just want to feel happy. Then feel happy. Just say, my intention is to bring happiness into 2020, and however that looks. Or maybe it's something different where you say, I really want to start my own business. So you don't have to know the details. You just set your intentions and say, I intend to start my own business in 2020. And if that is your goal, I'd like for you to find the emotion connected to it. How does it make you feel? Maybe it makes you feel excited, free, a little nervous, but we want to focus on excitement. So we can feel kind of jittery when we're excited too. So if you're feeling fearful about something, just turn that around to excitement. And then I'd like for you to take a few moments and embody the emotions that you're actually feeling. Now, we haven't gotten the spirit guide part in here yet, so stay with me. They're with you, but we're still just working on our energy. So I want you to embody and imagine that that emotion is pretty much like a coat or a piece of clothing that you're wearing. And I'd like for you to step into it and say, I am happy. I am free. Whatever your emotion is, you're going to step into this new version of you. And it's not necessarily a whole new version. It's just the emotion that you're feeling. And when you're in this vibrating state, it's always a good emotion. So whatever it is, excitement, joy, freedom, whatever it is, I'd like for you to now talk to your spirit guides and say, I intend for happiness. And I would really love for you to help me and present opportunities to me so I can fulfill that intention. And the same goes for starting a new job, for instance. Okay, I really intend to start my own business, and I would like for your help in presenting opportunities to me so that it happens with ease and grace, whatever it is. But I want you to feel, so what's happening here is you're feeling the emotion of excitement or joy, and it's easier to communicate with your guides when you're filled with these positive energies. And then you're basically communicating now with your energy to them, and you're also physically saying this out loud, or you're doing this with your inner reading voice with the intentions that they pick it up. So tell me in the comments what you are intending. I want to read them. I think we all can get really inspired. And so as you're commenting, I'm just going to read some of the other comments for what you're grateful for. So Chi-Chi says, grateful for moving to, I think that's Colorado from Arizona. Awesome. You have a job you love. Missy says, trip to Big Sur for 30th anniversary. That's pretty cool. And Michelle is grateful she took Reiki 1 training. I took the years of support for grief of losing to many people, but the amount of support and love was overwhelming. So you're recognizing that love. I love that so much. Mickey's happy and grateful for intuitive development, adventures in Sedona, Reiki training, and spiritual lessons. Grace got a new apartment and had her loved ones with her. That is so very awesome. So let's see what you are really starting to manifest and intend for 2020. So Christina says, I intend to really start moving forward with my Reiki business. Good. So Christina, what I'm going to use you as an example here, kind of a guinea pig. I'd like for you to just feel what emotion that is. If it's, oh, I feel like I have momentum, I feel free, I'm on top of the game my game. Whatever it is, I want you to feel that, and then ask your spirit guides to help you with those things. And I know that you have to actually put your steps in and actually do the work, but this is really important. What you're doing here, everybody, you are aligning your energy with your goal and your intention, and you're asking your spirit guides to help. So that's really important. Kim says, my husband and I want to start our own business. Awesome. So yes, I'd love for you to visualize this. Now I have a tip for you because you want to start a business with someone else. What I found, this is going to sound weird, but what I found is it's really helpful when you have a partner. You can intend for the relationship to meet its full potential. Now I'm talking about, like, I know he's your husband, but your business partnership. But I also, when you're manifesting, Kim, I'd like for you to just always use yourself. Like, I have a successful business. And the reason, I know that sounds weird because you have a business partner, but it's basically saying you're not responsible for somebody else. When we start including other people, we can't manifest for them. And so it's going to be your job to manifest for that business for you. And then he needs to do it too. So he needs to do this exercise for him. When the two of you come together, it's like a rocket fuel that's ignited, right? So you are working on yourself, he's working on his self, and then you both come together and it's like, woo! My husband and I do not have the same business, but we definitely bounce ideas off of one another and things like that. When I'm aligned and then he's aligned and then we're on the same page, some awesome things happen when we set our intentions. Now I'm going to share an example with you. This is kind of almost, you're going to think it might be a silly intention, but it's something that happened. So I just kind of want you to walk through the process. So it was my husband's birthday, and one of our mentors that we've taken some trainings from, we found out he was in Sedona. Now, we don't know him personally. We had no idea where he was. And we said out loud, or actually he did, but I was kind of supportive of that and saying, yeah, I'll set my intention too. He said, it'd be really cool to see James out in Sedona if it's for the highest good. And I tapped into it and I was like, yeah, that'd be great. I felt like, okay, yeah, that'd be cool. So I put out some like excited feeling, but then I just kind of left it. He, I think, was a little bit more excited about it. And now that I'm going to just say, this does not take away from me seeing this person, but I'm saying I wasn't holding the vibration so much. I was saying, yeah, I'd be excited about it, and kind of left it out there. So I was communicating this with my spirit guides, and he was saying this to his spirit guides, but I think he's the one that had more of emotion. And what's interesting is the day kept going on, and as the day kept going on, we kept coming up to roadblocks with our plans. And so at the last minute, we realized that we were a little bit later in the schedule for some things, and I said, why don't we just go to Chipotle instead of going to this nice sit-down meal we were going to go do? And he said, okay, let's do that. And as we pulled into the area, it's kind of in a shopping strip, the mentor, right, was walking up, waiting for his wife to pick him up in a car. And our car was coming up and we had to drive slow. And of course, we just rolled down the window and talked to him. So that's an example of how we manifest things and we set our intentions. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's easy. We tend to think that setting our intention is hard. It is not hard. It is easy. And when we allow and detach from the outcome, Spirit says, let me show you how this works. Let me do all the work for you. What's really great is we do have to take some steps. So when I was talking about Christy's example, if I were relating it to me, the steps we took was we listened, we drove in the car, we made some decisions based on what we felt was in alignment for us. So we said, yeah, we're going to skip the sit-down meal so we can do some other things and do that. So we had to take the actions. Basically, I'm saying we didn't manifest this guy come into our house. So we have to take the actions, but when we are really co-creating with Spirit, they make it happen for us if it's in alignment with our path. So that's my example for that, and I just wanted to see what you guys were sharing here. Michelle says, finding and following my higher purpose, letting go to grow beyond any idea I knew I could. I feel excited, free, confident, and fulfilled, at peace, and I'm ready. Nancy, or Dandy, says, I intend to find a job I really love, bringing me freedom, happiness, and a sense of purpose. That's beautiful. I love that so much. And let Spirit bring those opportunities to you. But like I was saying, you're going to have to look for them too. You can't sit there. And I know you wouldn't do that. I'm just giving this as an example of what I was saying. Chi-Chi says, I intend to meet a wonderful partner and get married. Awesome. What I would say for that, Chi-Chi, is say, you know, if it's in my highest and best, I would really love, and I'm talking to my spirit guides, I'd really love for you to present opportunities for me to align with my spiritual partner, and just leave it at that. Is what I would say. The interesting thing is, when Spirit, is definitely Spirit, brought my husband to me, I wasn't looking for it. They were very dedicated. So the more that you actually communicate with your spirit guides, the more that you have a dedicated team that's going to help you. Sometimes they just do things for you if it's really important, but most of the time we need to actually communicate with them. I was pretty clear I didn't want a relationship, and Spirit said, here's one for you. So it was a different example, but I would say the norm is we do need to communicate, and it sounds like you are communicating with your guides. Jagdish says, spiritual growth, feeling joy, starting a new business, and feeling joy, healing others through my gifts. Ah, awesome. So I love that. So I would attach to the, I feel joy, I feel freedom, and so much healing energy, which is really, really beautiful. And then, as we said, everybody needs to set their intentions and then also take action on them too. Margot intends to realign her priorities and knock down life's everyday roadblocks that I allow to get in the way of my spiritual growth. So Margot, I'm going to shift that, and I know that you're one of my students. I'd love for you to say, and I like your intention, but if you're really intending some things in affirmation, so I'm kind of moving this a little bit more into affirmations, I would say something of the sort of, I intend to realign my priorities, and I would say something like, nothing gets in my way. But more of something like, the road is clear for me to achieve. So I'm just taking, because sometimes we identify the problem, right? Which is good. We need to know the problem, but I want you to intend like the positive opposite of it. So it's like, my road is paved, or my path is clear, so to achieve these goals. So that's my little tip there for you too. Carrie says, I intend to find my Prince Charming. I intend to make better choices for health and well-being. I intend to grow more spiritually. I intend to continue to prosper and succeed. So I would definitely focus on those emotions that we have with these things. So these are beautiful intentions. I'm going to see if I had any other notes here that I wanted to share. I would say, though, that it's going to be really important here for you as you're setting your intentions. I want you to write your intentions down. And whatever it is that you've decided, it doesn't have to be long and wordy, I'd like for you to write them down. And then every day, I'd like for you to revisit them. What we tend to do on January 1st is we give these intentions, and then we're like, I set my intention. And then we kind of think about it as the weeks and months move on, but then we never align to them. So your homework for this is what I'd like for you to do. Write down your intentions. You've communicated them with your spirit guides. You can continue to communicate with them, meaning your spirit guides, every day if you like. But I'd like for you to put it on your wall or put it on a piece of paper and look at it every day and set your intention so that it is part of what your vibration is. And again, I wouldn't get super, super specific. I would get more general as far as feelings and emotions, and then an intention to change my job or to find the perfect job for me, or to align to my life partner, or to travel more this year to inspirational places. So I would do this, because when we really try to get super detailed, then we don't allow space for spirit to do their magic. I really believe that when we manifest and that we intend for things, it's part us and part spirit. And also, we got a little magic in there. Magic meaning they work their magic, and it's like, wow. So another way to say this is, when I was telling you that we met our mentor in Sedona, and it wasn't a planned meeting, and Spirit provided that for us. Imagine all the details that had to go into that we did not have to know, right? So we just set our intention. And we said, if it's aligned, then it'll happen. Well, our spirit guides had to work with his spirit guides and say, you know, he's at this restaurant or this shop, and he's going to be checking out around this time. And now we're going to try to coordinate Whitney and Chris's schedule. So we're going to have to delay them. There's going to be a couple things that we're going to put in their way so that they're delayed, so the timing's right. And then when they get in the car, we're going to have to kind of prompt Chris. So Chris said, you know, we're not going to have enough time to spend time at this place if we go sit down over here at the restaurant. And so we just said, oh, okay. And then that restaurant popped up into my mind. My husband hates Chipotle. I mean, he doesn't hate it, but it's not his favorite. And he just, on his birthday, said, yeah, let's do that. So that's what happened. So they do all the heavy lifting. All we do is set our intention, and we have to align our vibration toward it. We have to align and do the work for it. Miggy said, I got a picture of it, but as I wrote my intention, I looked at the clock and it was 3:33. Then the picture saved with a number, and she said it saved with like 33333. I love how Spirit works with us. Yes, one of the intention setting things that I see, if you want to call it a thing, but a sign, I see a lot of 222s. That's just something that's been something for me. So I love that you're recognizing your number for right now. Susie says, my intention is to be creative in all aspects of my life. I like that. Michelle says, wow, they do fascinating work. Thank you for sharing this example. Yes, it's like a snowflake. The conditions all have to be right to come together to form this amazing pattern. Carrie says, is there a preferred way to set intentions? I would like to help with my intentions versus I intend. So I think, Carrie, that you're probably asking if there's a wording. This is what I'm taking from this. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. Basically, when we're setting our intentions, you can say, I intend to blah, 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 whatever it is. Now, blah, blah, blah is just me kind of filling in whatever you're wanting to say. But when you're doing it, you want to surround yourself with emotion of what it is to feel this way. And then I intend to align my energy to this, and then fill in the blank. I intend to align my energy to this, fill in the blank. And then you can also talk to your spirit guides and say, hey, these are my intentions. And then you can just have a normal chat with them too, just like you would talk to me and say, you know, I really want to find a job that provides this, this, and this. Or you could say, I really want to create my own business. I'm not really sure exactly what it's going to look like, but I just really would love for your help to fill in the blanks, but it's like to help me with the opportunities that are coming through. So I set my intentions with my energy. Basically, when you're setting your intentions, it's helping align the bodies that you have. Like we just walked through the steps, bodies meaning physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental. So it aligns you to your intention. And then you communicate your intention to your spirit guides. But if you're in one of my programs, more actually in Intuition Abundance Academy, you'll know how to chat with your spirit guides more on a regular basis, for sure. So Naomi says she always sees 1111 or just 11, but I filled in 1111. Yes, we definitely do that too. Mimi says she's seeing 22s. Me too. I have seen a little bit more 11s here lately too. So hopefully this helps. I'm excited. I'm so glad that you have written them down, right? You've written them down. And then I want you to put them somewhere. When we actually write something down, we are claiming it to the energy in the universe. So that's also why I wanted you to do it in the comments too. You're actually typing them in. You're claiming it to everyone here in our community. You're claiming it to me. You're claiming it to yourself, more importantly, and your spirit guides. And then when you're writing it down, I really find that there's something like energy comes out of our body, and we're writing it down, and it's like, da-da, I have just taken the thought and the energy, my emotions, and I've put it into a physical, tangible form. So it's like you have created it into reality. It's now a physical representation. And then you're going to just keep it as a reminder. Now, if you just kept this reminder kind of randomly somewhere and you glance at it every day, that's not going to get it. I want you to take that reminder and say, I feel, and then feel the emotion of whatever it is. It's going to be really, really important for you to feel the emotion so that you're manifesting every day. So do this. Hope you have a great New Year's Day, and join me next week. You can just sign up. There's a link here in the comments. You can also go to messengerspirit.com/high vibe. If that link doesn't work, sometimes it doesn't, and just click the link in the comments and it'll take you there. It's a free challenge. We're going to be challenging you to keep your vibration high so you continue these things as you're moving forward and you're aligning your energy to your intentions. So have a wonderful day. I will chat with you hopefully, if you're there, next week. Bye.